All right, let's jump right in. Why do we really get fat? I mean, we all think we know the answer, right? But what if I told you the conventional wisdom, the stuff we've all been taught for years, is just plain wrong? What if it has almost nothing to do with counting calories? Let's dig in.
Wow. Okay, that is a huge statement, isn't it? Calories don't cause obesity. It's the biggest lie. I mean, that's designed to make you stop and think because it flies in the face of everything we've heard for decades. So if calories aren't the villain here, then what is? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack. Okay, first things first. We got to talk about the model that is just everywhere, the one we've all had drilled into our heads a million times. You know the one. It sounds so simple, so logical, but, and this is a big but, according to the perspective we're exploring today, it's completely missing the point. And here it is, the big one, the energy balance equation. Increased body fat equals calories in being greater than calories out. And look, on a technical level, this is true. It's just physics, right? Stored fat is a result of a calorie surplus. But here's the twist. The problem isn't the math. It's how we interpret the math. It's what we think is driving the equation. So this is the logic that we all just absorb. We're taught that calories in is all about the food you choose to put in your mouth, and calories out is about how much you choose to exercise. See where this is going? It makes it sound like these are two totally separate dials we can just turn up or down whenever we want. And if that's true, then the only conclusion is that gaining weight is a personal failure, a lack of willpower, and the solution is always, always eat less, move more. But what if that's not how our bodies actually work? All right, so let's really start to pick apart this whole eat less idea. I mean, think about it. If it was really that simple, wouldn't it have worked for pretty much everyone by now? The reality, as so many people know from personal experience, is that it just doesn't. Here's a great way to think about it. Your body's energy system is kind of like a bank account. You've got money you earn, money you spend, and money you save. In the body, that's calories you eat, calories you burn, and fat you store. Now, with your finances, you can't just slash your spending without it affecting your savings, right? It's all connected. You can't just pull one lever without all the others moving too. And that's exactly what the body does. It has a countermove. When you intentionally cut your calories in, your body doesn't just say, okay, I'll keep burning energy like crazy. No way. It panics a little. It thinks there's a famine coming. So what does it do? It slams the brakes on your metabolism to reduce calories out. It's trying to save you. It's a hardwired survival mechanism. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of the argument. The standard claim we always hear is that eating more calories than you burn is what causes you to gain fat. Notice that word, causes. This puts all the blame on the behavior of eating. But here's the distinction that changes everything. The fact is that having increased body fat is a state of eating more than you burn. It's a description of what's happening, not an explanation for why it's happening. It's describing the what, not the why.
And when you put those two things together, you see it. The whole argument is circular. Saying you get fat because you eat more than you burn is like saying you have a fever because your temperature is high. Or even better, it's like saying increased body fat is caused by increased body fat. It tells us absolutely nothing about the root cause. It doesn't answer the real question. Why did the body decide to store all that energy in the first place? Okay, so if we can't just consciously control our weight with calories, then what is in control? This is where we need a whole new way of looking at things. And the one we're exploring today suggests we should think about it less like a calculator and more like a thermostat. This is the concept of a body fat set point. Just like you set the thermostat in your house to, say, 70 degrees, your body has an internal thermostat that wants to maintain a certain level of body fat. And if you try to push it too far below that set point by dieting, what happens? The body fights back. It cranks up your hunger and slows down your metabolism to get back to its preferred setting. It actively defends it. And listen, this isn't some brand new idea. This goes way back. We're talking experiments in the 1940s. Scientists found that if they messed with a tiny, specific region in a rat's brain, they could basically flip a switch. The rats would either become obese or get super skinny. They weren't changing the rat's willpower, they were literally changing its internal body fat thermostat. So this just flips the entire calories in, calories out model completely on its head. The real chain of command, according to this view, looks like this. It all starts with your hormones. The hormones are what set that body fat thermostat. And then that set point is what drives everything else. It controls your hunger levels, your calorie intake, and it controls your metabolism, your calorie expenditure. The calories are the effect, not the cause.
Okay, so if hormones are the real puppet masters here, which one is pulling the strings? Well, there's one hormone in particular that gets the spotlight. It's the one that's said to control that thermostat, and its name is insulin. So, what is insulin? You can think of it as your body's chief nutrient sensor. When you eat pretty much anything, your insulin levels go up, and its main job is to act like a traffic cop for energy. It basically shouts out one simple instruction: hey everyone, fuel is coming in, time to put some of this away for later. So here's the play-by-play. Step 1, you eat food. Step 2, insulin levels rise. Step 3, insulin gives the signal to store that energy. Now first, it tries to pack that energy into your muscles and liver as a quick access sugar called glycogen. But, and this is key, those storage tanks are really small. They fill up fast. So what happens when they're full? Any extra energy coming in gets converted and stored as body fat.
Okay, this next part is maybe the single most important piece of the puzzle. This is the real kicker. High insulin doesn't just tell your body to store fat, it also does something else. It locks the doors to your existing fat cells. It literally prevents your body from accessing and burning the fat you already have for energy. So it creates this one-way street. Calories can get into your fat cells really easily, but they can't get out.
Take a look at this number, 800. What in the world is that? Well, that's the number of calories a person might burn in an entire day when their metabolism has completely tanked because they're stuck in this hormonal trap. This is where it all comes together in a really frustrating way. Imagine this scenario. Someone is dieting, right? They're being super disciplined, eating only 1,000 calories a day. But because of the type of food they're eating, their insulin is still high. So their body is still getting that constant signal: store fat, lock the fat cells. So what does the body do? To survive, it crashes the metabolism. It starts burning only 800 calories a day. Now think about that. You're eating 1,000, but only burning 800. You're cold, you're exhausted, you're starving, and you are still gaining fat. And all of this leads to a final idea that is honestly a game changer. We have to stop thinking about food as just calories, as just energy. Food is information. Every single bite you take is a set of instructions that you are sending directly to your hormones. I mean, look at this. It makes it so clear. Let's say you have 100 calories of cookies versus 100 calories of spinach. Same number of calories, right? But they are sending completely different instructions to your body. The cookies send a massive insulin spike. That's a loud, clear message: store this energy as fat and lock the doors. The spinach, barely a blip in insulin. The message is totally different: burn this for fuel right now. The information could not be more different. So what's the bottom line? It leads to this simple, almost common sense conclusion. Some calories are just more fattening than other calories. That's it. Because if food is hormonal information, then the source of the calorie, the information it carries, is way, way more important than the number of calories itself. So I want to leave you with this question to think about. This whole perspective shifts the conversation away from willpower and guilt and puts it squarely on biology and information. It changes the fundamental question. It's no longer, how many calories am I eating? The real question is, if every meal is an instruction, what are you telling your body to do?